Michelle here with the Traveling Epicurean. Today I want to show you how I make my eggplant parmesan that's been in my family for generations. I was just at the market and I saw some gorgeous eggplants. I think it's the perfect time of the season. It's the end of the summer, so you're still getting in some beautiful produce. And then I'm going to show you a little trick of what my family's been doing to extract the bitterness out of the eggplant. It's our little secret. So come with me, I'll show you what we're going to need to get this going. Alright, so this is what we're going to need to make our eggplant parmesan. I picked up a few eggplants. They're big and beautiful. You can find them at the store, probably any market that you go to. Some Parmesan, fresh basil, mozzarella that I grated in my food processor. We need some oil for frying, paper towels, good paper towels so they absorb the oil, a bowl to slice up the eggplants, and we're going to salt them. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. We're also going to need eggs and seasoned breadcrumbs. I'm doing two different bake dishes. One I'm going to give to a neighbor. This one I'm going to keep for us. I'm going to show you how to use these Ziplocs and freeze some of these eggplants. And then we have our cast iron pans. The bottom one's going to be for frying, and then these three are going to be to weight down the eggplant when we put it in the fridge. And then we also have our tomato-basil pasta sauce, and we could take a quick look on how I started that right now. So I just put in a few pieces of that pork loin. I seasoned the oil with some fresh garlic. I sauteed that. I took it out. I put the pork loin in. I'm going to sear this and get it golden on each side. I'm going to take that out. Look how beautiful those three pieces of pork loin have gotten. I've been sauteing them for about 8 minutes. They're really nice and golden. I'm going to pull them out, and then I'm going to put in the carrots and the onion and start to saute those for the sauce, and then get it in the food processor with the whole tomatoes to puree them. Look at the beautiful sauce. It's simmering there with the fresh basil and those pork loins that I sauteed. And that's been going for a couple of hours. It's that simple recipe, my tomato basil recipe, which I have you only cooking 20 minutes, but you could also cook it longer, as I'm doing here. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna slice up these eggplants. We're gonna put all the sliced eggplant in this bowl here, and I'm gonna salt the layers. I'm going to put a dish and then the cast iron pans on top of that. So you want to weight it down, and then we're going to get it into the refrigerator. So when we take them out of the fridge, after sitting there for a couple hours to overnight, it's going to extract all this purple juice. I'm going to start getting going on these. And that juice is what makes eggplants bitter. My mom has always done it that way, and I have followed suit. And my eggplant parmesan has always been sweet, and I've been making eggplant I think for about 30 years now. So not only am I the sauce cow, but I am the eggplant queen. I love my eggplant. Look how easy it is to just use a regular old peeler, and I'm just going to go through and peel all my eggplant. What we're going to do. We're just going to slice these to about 1/4 of an inch. And I like to go lengthwise. When eggplants are cooked, it doesn't really matter if you're cutting them crosswise this way or lengthwise, because the pulp, the flesh of it, gets nice and soft and absolutely delicious. It just melts in your mouth. So it really doesn't matter which direction. But I like to do it this way because then I could roll them up when I'm making rollatinis. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to freeze these, all right? So let me finish this. It's going to be so delicious. Now, you don't have to do 3 eggplants. I do 3 because I figure if you're going through all the trouble of frying, you might as well get a few extra that you can freeze. So all the work is taken out of a dish for you the next time you want to make something. You get that all done, which is a really, really nice thing. I mean, why fry just 1 eggplant? I always fry at least 2. If I'm feeling ambitious, sometimes I'll go to 4, but we're only going to do 3 here today. All right, so we have 1. Let me just show you how I'm going to take these and layer them here. put them right into the bowl. You need a nice large bowl like this. I take a little bit of salt and we're gonna salt that. You don't have to go crisscross. I ended up going crisscross as I'm layering them in there, and then some more salt. This is probably gonna be my last layer. A little bit of salt. Here we go. Fits perfectly. Really nice. So I got this covered with saran wrap. I'm just taking a small plate and I'm gonna push down on it. And then I'm gonna take my cast iron pans. You know, you could even use a can, you know, the big giant tomato cans. Anything, just to give it a little bit of pressure, because we want that extraction process to start right away, and that weight on that really helps. So let's get this into the fridge. I find this very exciting to extract the purple juice out of this eggplant. I don't know what it does to me, but I kept this in overnight. Wait to see the juice that's going to come out of this eggplant when we pour it into this bowl here. You're going to be truly amazed. And now I'm just going to hold this down and start to pour. Look at that juice. Isn't that wonderful? When you're making this, you really need decent paper towels, Bounty or Brawny, something that is absorbent. I'm going to start putting these pieces of eggplant, because see, there's still a little bit more juice on there, but you can only pour out so much. You don't want to go too crazy. And I'm just going to layer them down the plate like this, and then I'm going to keep putting pieces of paper towel right over that. And then I'll just pat them dry like this and continue the whole process until I've gone through all of my eggplant. So something else that I also want to let you know is I took this out and let it sit on the countertop for about an hour. This way it could come to room temperature, because the refrigerator is cold, right? And we're going to deep fry the eggplant pieces. So you want them to you want to take that bite off just a little and crack all of our eggs here. Whisk them up, and like I said, we don't need to salt these eggs because we've already seasoned the eggplant, right? And you don't want it over salty, so that's really important. So I finished whisking these eggs. So I'm going to take all of these pieces of eggplant that have been layered in between the paper towels, absorbing all that extra moisture, and I'm just going to start sliding them right in, just like that. Okay, see how that all fits right in there? And we are ready to start frying. So let's get these over to the stove, and I'll show you how I fry up these sweet eggplants. All right, look what we got going on here. We're gonna make like a little assembly line. I have my eggplant, that's all in the egg. I have a bowl here, and I'm going to pour my Italian seasonings in there, just like that. I'm going to keep it at hand because I'll probably need to add some more as I'm going along. I have my tongs. I have my oil here, and I've checked it. It's at 300. I also have my cookie racks, and I've covered them with paper towels. We're going to be going through a lot of paper towels. All right, here we go. I'm going to take the eggplant piece. I'm just going to dredge a little bit on the other eggplant so I get some of that excess egg off. Just dip right into the breadcrumbs. I don't flour them first. I think that's unnecessary, and I feel that it actually pops off the coating. And then I'm just going to lay them right down. See how it bubbles right away? That's beautiful. And then I'm just going to keep repeating this process until we have a full pan. Now the pan's going to go down a little bit in temperature, but then it's going to come back up. So you need to have it, you know, at 300 because that's going to hold a little bit steady for you. It needs to be sizzling when you put it in the pan so it doesn't get saturated with oil. You want it to fry, not to take a bath in the oil and do nothing. So Anyways, here we go. These are beautiful. Look how pretty that is. All right, so it's going to be about 2 minutes on each side, and then we're going to flip them over. Now, you really have to pay attention too, because the first ones, oh, look how beautiful that golden color is. The first ones are probably going to go a little bit quicker. So while this eggplant is frying, and I've turned it up to a high, closer to high, because the cold eggplant, when I put it in there, it keeps bringing the temperature down. So you want to make sure it stays at around 300, 325. If it goes below that, the eggplant starts to absorb more of the oil, and you don't want that. I've already put down, between each set of frying eggplants, I've put down new paper towels. You want fresh new paper towels each time so it absorbs the oil. All right? So you're just going to keep going until we have all of our eggplants fried. These are looking absolutely gorgeous. Put that right down there. Grab another one. And then I'll put one into the pan, a fresh one, and another one into the pan. Look how gorgeous these eggplants are coming out. So remember, pat them dry, absorbing all that excess oil. I flip them actually again. And I start to pat the other side dry as well. And then I'm just going to move them over to the cooling rack. These came out so nice. So now I'm going to show you close up what the eggplants look like, and then we're going to build our Parmesan and pop it in the oven. It's going to be so good. Well, these eggplants came out absolutely gorgeous. Really pretty. So I have my spoons, I have my dish, my mozzarella, my basil, and my sauce, and we're going to start putting together this dish here of eggplant Parmesan. I'm just going to put down a layer of this wonderful tomato basil sauce that I cooked for a couple of hours about 2 nights ago. You know, this is a make-ahead dish. You're not going to knock yourself out trying to do it all at once. All right, so I have the sauce. I shake it back and forth, and that gives it an even coating. And now I'm just going to start to lay down my pieces of eggplant. Just like that. And you know, you can even tear the eggplant, but we don't need to, I mean, to make it fit properly. But this is going to be just perfect. You just overlap them. What I usually do is I put a little sauce underneath the flap like that. And then I just keep layering. It's almost like making a lasagna. The eggplant's going to absorb a little bit of the sauce. So I don't like a dry eggplant Parmesan. I like there to be a little bit of sauce because it does get absorbed and evaporated and it thickens up. Then I'm going to take some mozzarella here and I'm going to sprinkle over each layer just like this. And then I'm going to tear a couple of pieces of basil. If they're smaller pieces, I keep them whole. This looks really beautiful. And then here I'm going to get some basil and I'm just going to lay them right down just like that. The aroma of the basil baking with the eggplant, oh my goodness, and the sauce makes my heart melt. Okay, that looks beautiful. Just a few pieces. Then I'm going to take some more eggplant and I'm just going to lay them down. You can go whichever way you choose. I'm going to lay them this way. And another layer of sauce. And what I love about these eggplants is when you cut them lengthwise, look how nice this is going to roll up for a rollatini when you stuff it with the mozzarella. And you have the mozzarella and the ricotta right inside there, and then you line them up in the pan and cover them with sauce. So I've got all the layers there. And now just on the top layer, I'm going to put a little bit of the Reggiano Parmigiano. I don't put it in the center layers, just the top layer with the mozzarella. And then I'm going to cover this with foil. All right, into the oven. I also want to show you how I put the eggplant. Now, since I made 2 dishes, there's not a lot of eggplant left over, but what I would do is I would slide the eggplant into the baggie just like this. 1 and 2. I don't want to bend them. And then I'm going to take the durable Bounty, it has to be Bounty, I'm going to slide the paper towels right over that, just like that, okay? And then I'm going to slide another piece of eggplant right on like that. And then so on until you can fit as many as you can. And then I'll take all the air out and I will freeze this eggplant. Well, I just took this eggplant Parmesan out of the oven. It's still bubbling around the edges. It needs to sit for a few minutes, just like a lasagna. I had it in the oven for 50 minutes at 350, then another 10 minutes without the foil. I took the foil off, so about an hour. Now, of course, the best part, cutting into the eggplant Parmesan. You need a sharp knife. And that's like, wow, that looks amazing. And you know, I'm just gonna give a little sprinkle of some grated cheese here. All right, so I'm just gonna dig in here and take a bite of this. Oh, look at that cheese. Oh, that is so amazing. It's just to die for. Can't wait to have a bite of this. Oh my goodness. That's really, really good. You're gonna love my eggplant Parmesan. It's sweet and cheesy, a little saucy. See how much that eggplant soaked up all that sauce? It really wasn't too much sauce. Absolutely perfect. This is so delicious. This is one of my very favorite dishes to make. I can't wait to make this. Just start off with 1 eggplant so you're not overwhelmed if you've never fried eggplant before. It's gonna be easier than you think. You're gonna love this recipe. You can find it right on my website at thetravelingepicurean.com. Have a really wonderful day. Ciao!